Man, I just really get tired of streaming sometimes because of things like this. Literally, the network has been so good throughout, and then now that I'm about to stream, just bro, messing up my stream though. Basically, messing up my stream, messing up my stream. Really messing up my stream, but it's fine. I'm just gonna keep streaming this. Really, really, I'm gonna keep it up because I need it. Bro, all the time. I really wanted this stream to be like a good one, but I don't know what's going on. The internet always have like its own plan. For me, whenever I come on live to stream. Anyways, let me let's continue from where we left off. I was talking about Samsung ecosystem and how I love their products, and then also how I have like three picks aside from excluding Apple. I have like three companies that I'll always go to that is not Apple. Yeah. So those three are you'll find out in the next update. I'm sorry. But for now, let's look at this project, right? So the healthcare, this for the healthcare. So we've been able to complete the build. Everything was successful, all clear. So git, let's push the git up, git add all and git clean. Fix. Let's call it fix. That's what we did get because I really can recall. Not a fit. It's probably like a fix because what we did like was a fix. So it's a fix. So we fixed the entire system and improved the picture. I mean, this is just what I can remember though. So flow and git push origin dev. There's a change that we've not put. So let's see git status. Nothing to commit on this branch. I think it's on main. Git pull origin dev. All right. So there was something to actually pull from. All right. So git status. Git push origin dev. All right. So we just pushed now. We're going to check out the deployment. It's obviously not going to deploy now because we can hear the sound. Just notified me that the deployment didn't go. Deployment didn't go. So I'm gonna move this and bring it here. So I'm gonna go to GitHub and I'm going to find the project and I'm going to create a pull request. Let's create a pull request. Dev check in, create a pull request. Why is why is this not here? Nothing is missing here. Well, let me just say merging dev to main. Just very simple like that. Create a pull request created. I'm gonna wait for it to build. So apparently now there's an issue. Let's see what the issue is. Oh, it has to do with the invitation. So it has to do with the deployment that I just made. That's why. So because I'm not a team member, like this is not a team's account, so I'm not allowed to deploy directly. And also because this project is what's it called? Is what's the word? The project is private and not public. Yeah. So if it was public, I could have deployed directly, but it's private. So we need a permission to be able to do that. And why is this thing taking so long? Let me refresh. What do you have in you? Let's do this. Merging. So it has started merging. Let's check the code and let's go in and explore this. Let's see. Let's see. Running TypeScript. Whoa, didn't deploy. Something went wrong. Let's see. Missing key. What key? Missing it. Let's go to the environmental variable and see. I'm going to check the environmental variable, guys. So just give me a minute. Let me see the key that is actually missing. So now I have these things there. Missing key. It's pointing to dev. Oh, yes. Now, I mean, it's dev. Or let me just make it available everywhere. I'm wondering why that error is there. Let's see again. Surprise. Missing API key. Let me see. has to be inside the recent this thing. So this is process.env dot recent key process.env dot recent key process.env dot problem and that. But I just ran build and it went just fine. I ran build and it went just fine. So database URL not available. What the hell? Oh, I forgot. These are test keys, obviously. So database URL. Yo, what does this, bro? I cannot be getting the two keys at the same time, guy. Fuck, 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 fuck. Oh gosh. Let me find out what the problem is. So there's a change that I just made. Let me see if it will go. I think the reason is because I seeded some key. Is that even supposed to be happening? Anyways, I need to go back to sleep. So I need to do this as fast as possible. Ah All right, going to create another PR now. Let's see. Oh, the PR. I don't have the CICD check, so I've just gone direct. So it's requiring me creating another PR now. I need to create like I need to do like a build process. I just automate this because that's previous PR should have just build again. Oh gosh. Running TypeScript now. Okay, I think it's done. Was successful. Yep, it was successful. All right. All right. So this is what we've been able to build. I don't know if we showcased this the last time we streamed. I'm going to move this my stuff. All right. So this is a progressive web application, right? Meaning that this application is downloadable on devices and behaves gives like a mobile app behavior. Right. So I'm just gonna show you. You see the particular thing, I love it. I think I've spoken about this thing before in my last stream. But I just love it. I love how I was able to come up with this differently. Stand. I'm just going to run you through the website. So, oh gosh, man, I need to sleep. Gosh. Right. So this is the about page. About page. This is the service page. These are the services available. You can click on one to see more, which is the slot page for the service. This is the service slot page. Go back to service fees. Okay. Now let's go to who we serve. These are the people that the business serve. Then we have if we query a question. So based on the um based on the building, the questions are of the suggested tiles are like because there is like a very long question for on the FAQ. So that's why we have this here. So it just helps you to filter which one. You see medication and treatment, it filters it for you. Medication and treatment. All you just have to do is go through it. Yeah. Then we have the contact. So we have the book action, the book appointment. This is where you get to book the appointment. You know, you go through the process of selecting a service type to dates available for appointment and the rest. Right? Like I said, it's a PWA. You can install it. You can choose to install it, right? And it's really easy. Right now, I think this is it for this project. Right. This is it for this project. Um, I really want to get some sleep now, so I'm going to do this stream again, but it's going to be later in the day because I really want to get the sleep. Like I need it, please. So, guys, depending on when I come online or when we, depending on when we do this again, I'd like you guys to have an amazing week, a weekend, and be happy and have fun. I want to sleep, please. I'm going to stream again next. But right now, I'm out. Peace. Sheesh. Why is the sleep not coming again? Why is the sleep gone? If I start streaming now, the sleep will come again. What's going on? You know what? We're not canceling this soon. Let's stream. Let's stream. Yeah. So that's it for the. That's it for this particular project, right? The next thing is this gadget review. I told you guys Samsung has been up to something, right? Something interesting. And honestly, I do like. So I'm going to pull up the in browser. So we look at some videos and then, you know, there's this particular video that I saw where the apparently this guy, I like this guy. I love his contents that he does for he's also a programmer like me. Yeah. I think he's a mobile app programmer. Yeah, he's a mobile app guy.
You compete your
Let's look for why is my FYP like this? Yep, I have some things that I saved. I just hope it will open. All right. First, let's talk about the before we talk about Samsung, let's talk about Anthropic, right? These guys have talking. They've spoken about how they are going to be releasing the watermarked version of their models that you can now tell if a text or a code is, of course, the code right now, codes are already, you can know when someone writes a code with an AI, right? But for text, in terms of writing the text, paragraph, statements, and all that, you can't really tell. So they are coming with the energy of they want to infuse. What's the word? Is the infuse? Yes, they want to infuse like a watermark then that you cannot see it. You won't see it, but it helps other AIs to know that this text was generated with an AI. Yes. So apparently they are taking it back to the ground root again, where people need to be very intentional about their writing. They need to know what they're writing. You just have to upskill your skills instead of depending on AI to do some little things. And it's I think it's good. This is basically for the educations and then also for the recruiters, right? For people that are sitting for exams. Now AI can evaluate and know if this code was written by another AI, and that's what Anthropic is saying that they intend to do. I'm going to play this video so that you would have a look.
To let Claude write your next paper or resume, because Anthropic says new Claude AI models will actually embed an invisible watermark directly into AI generated text. That means it'll be a lot easier for anyone to find out if something is AI generated. And this could be a turning point for the publishing industry, which has been grappling with the rise of AI generated technology and content. Technology reporter Mike Dubusky joins me now for more. Kind of tell us about this invisible watermark and how it's going to work.
Yeah, sure, Kira. So this is specialized code that is going to be interwoven into any AI output from an Anthropic model. This is not necessarily something that you or I could see with our human eyes. This is rather like a little red flag for computers to look at when they're trying to evaluate whether something is AI generated or not. Anthropic says that this is going to be baked into every forthcoming model that they launch from here on in, and they're in the process of retroactively adding this to existing models as well. It's not quite out yet, but will be coming, they say.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Yo, yo, Anthropic ain't playing right now. They ain't playing. Jeez, they ain't. Anyways, let's continue.
In the next couple weeks and months here. So it is a pretty big shift in how people think about how AI is used and deployed, and of particular interest, not just to the publishing industry, but to other industries as well. Things like, education sectors and so on and so forth are really going to be paying a lot of attention to this, especially as to whether it actually works or not in the real world. Anthropic has come out and said that if you do enough modification to the output, even with that watermark might eventually go away. So there's some loopholes here, it seems like, that need to be closed. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see how it works in the real world.
My kids do tell me that their teachers can figure out if they are using AI. And then my kids tell me there are ways to take things that you get from AI and you put it into another program that changes it up so it doesn't look like AI.
That is ostensibly what this watermark is there to fix, right? This idea that there is this sort of reliable standard that educators, that workers in the publishing industry and elsewhere can look at and say, okay, this is definitively artificial intelligence. What's more, Kira, in the education sector specifically, if I'm a student and I want to use an AI tool to write my essay for me, now I might not want to use Claude, but what's stopping me from jumping over to OpenAI's tools or Google's tools, which are just as open and available and don't have this sort of watermark baked into them in the way that Anthropic is thinking about it? That might change in the future, but again, it's just part and parcel of how challenging this is right now.
Well, it's going to get a lot harder to let Claude write.
Damn. Yo, that is crazy. That is crazy. So, if you've been using Anthropic, if you've been using Claude, watch out. Don't use that to create your next resume, because and you'll be fat. You will be fat. That's crazy, guys. But that's like a good thing, because it's from the last time we had like stream on AI, we talked about the whole guardrails, the the state congress, passing a bill for AI takedowns. So I think these guys are now paying more attention to, adding some kind of restriction that don't make the entire human race look like it's a joke, right? So this is an improvement. Chat, what do you think? What do you think about this particular update? Do you think it makes sense that Anthropic is deciding to add like a watermark to Claude, right? And most especially, somewhere in this video, the woman said her kids get to generate stuff with AI and their teacher can tell and they go somewhere. Bro, if you see an AI generated text, not 100% every one of them, but you will know, right? The M dash, just too much. When you see a lot of M dash, that's AI. When you see things like let me make it easier for you, that's AI. When you see things like, oh, sounds like a plan, that's AI. I'm just telling you a few things that you used to know. But men looking at a text, you can tell, oh, this is AI generated. For people like us that are basically working with AI every now and then, right? It's easier for us to spot. That's why when I see a website that is AI generated, I can easily spot it. But I try as much as I can, as much as me myself, I build with AI, right? I try as much as I can to hide it in such a way that you won't be able to tell that, oh, this is an AI that built this website. That's why I go extra mile to get like a UI on Stitch, use the UI on Stitch to do implement on my code. Just a lot of process, right? But the workflow is worth it because it simplifies my work from the others, right? So yeah, so that's it. I think we're going to look for more videos as to this. So we say anthropic watermark. Oh, Anthropic itself has it. So this is not like it was just made up. Anthropic, this is anthropic.com/news/article. So this is their blog page. I hope you guys are reading this with me. In this article, we share answer to some questions we received about how our choosing watermarking method works, whether it affects Claude's output, and why we are making the change. Why we're making the change. Now, to summarize, we use a method of watermarking that does not have any practical impact on the quality or content output. Difference between watermarked and unwatermarked text will not be distinguished to readers. Okay. Wait, what? Will not be distinguished. The difference between watermarked and unwatermarked text will not be distinguished to readers. Nothing is added to the text and there are no hidden characters. Watermarking doesn't require extra token and will not be more expensive. Give me some fire about it. Watermarking carries no identifying information and can't be traced to specific person, organization, or channel. The mark won't be specific to Claude. As August 2nd, the EU requires AI providers serving its market to mark AI generated content. I told you guys this thing was coming. Give me some fire. I told you guys.
Jesus.
Look at this. I knew this was going to come. I was discussing with a friend of mine, my colleague at the office at work, and we were talking about this. And I said, this is the process, or this is where this stuff is heading to. A situation where there is a control over how AI models are being released. And that's what we're seeing right now. And I said it, and it's happening. Now, what is watermarking? You can take your time to read this actually. There's a lot. Let's see. What about cases where Claude has preferred or edited human text? The watermark only appears towards Claude chooses when Claude proofreads that written by a person. What it gives back has generally only been lightly edited because nearly all the words are a person's. There is very little, if anything, for the watermark to attach, depending on the length of the paper. I'm going to I'm going to actually this is a very good update. Right. What about code? As we noted above, AI watermarking takes advantage of decisions where either choice of words would be equally good, where an exact output is required. For example, once a model has written 2 plus 2 is equal to a very clear best choice for the next token. If the model is completing the sum, there isn't an answer. That's equally as good as 4. If it's taking about if it's talking about Georgia's always 1984, there isn't an answer that's equally as good as 5. The nudge of watermark wouldn't be applied here for the same reason. Code, which in many in very many cases has to be exact, has generally less watermarking than some other content. So you can take your time to go through this and then browse through, read it, and just how does this differ from AI dictation softwares like Pangram? I mean, just take your time and read it, basically, because I don't have the strength. So let's see something. Let's go to now. We already know that Anthropic is making this release. What's next for us is the Samsung ecosystem. Samsung ecosystem. Samsung. Don't mind me that I typed the word Samsung ecosystem. This is basically Samsung. Samsung ecosystem. Let's check Samsung. What is the Galaxy ecosystem that enables connected living? Look at it. Auto switch. Let's find the release. Um, think I would the place I would do justice to this is YouTube. But basically, like I said, Samsung launched three devices. First one is first one is the first one is the Samsung the Galaxy Z Flip 8 Fold 8 Ultra. Sorry, my bad. Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. Then they also have the Galaxy Flip Galaxy Flip Galaxy Z Flip 8. What is going on with me? Galaxy Z Flip 58. Then they also released their Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 and Watch 9. So let's check out the first one, which is the let's see. Bro, the camera quality of this is that Motorola? Jesus. Ultra. Hello, Moto. Shop now, shop now, shop now. Let's go back here. So like I
I just
said,
wanna take the wheel, baby. Do what you feel. Take the
before we move forward, I have something to say. I have something to say. I told you guys I had like three brands that I would use over Apple.
Bombastic side eye,
Yes,
criminal offensive side
I'm
eye.
telling
Do you
you that I
understand?
have three devices or three companies that I'll choose over Apple. The first one is Samsung on the top list, Samsung. Then the second one is the second one is Motorola. That's why I was excited when I saw their adverts. How did they know that I said about them? And they just showed up like that. Really? Now the third one, and which is the final one, not the least, is LG. LG, LG, Motorola, and Samsung. Three of them are the brands that I love. I love so much. Most especially the first two, Samsung and Motorola. Their products are great. Their products are just amazing. I've used I've used I've not really used Samsung products yet. To be honest, I've not used Samsung products, but I love Samsung. I've seen Samsung products and they look great. They just look great. Then we have for Motorola. I've used Motorola. I've used Motorola products. Motorola products are amazing. They've got like gosh, their flips, their fold and their flip. Great. I've not used their flip and their fold, but I've used their normal smart phone. I'm currently using Motorola Moto G stylus, not stylus. Yeah, stylus 2025 model. Yeah, I think yeah. I'm sure using Motorola. I've used Motorola products like very often, and I love the fact that the phone is strong, is durable. It has an amazing features, and you can be able to do so much with it. Then I also love LG. I've used LG products, and I love LG. I love what LG is doing. I just need them to come out of their shell and push more by next year. Right. But overall, those are like my three first pick, my three top pick on devices, on companies that own devices. But let's play this particular one.
wheel, baby. Take the wheel and ride.
Oh,
And ride.
This is the Galaxy Z Fold8 Ultra, and everything you've just seen there is one tap away. Foldables have been promising this sort of productivity powerhouse, I don't know, since the first Fold, but it's only been recently, and definitely with the Fold8 Ultra, that we're actually able to work on this rather than just admire it. He also filmed this in a circus in the dark and still had battery left when I got home at midnight. But it's not all good news. There is a telephoto problem in here that I'm not going to defend. And one of you told me that this inner screen is about 70% black bars, so it wasn't worth the 200 quid more. So I measured it, and you're wrong, sorry. But you are right about something, and the bit that you got right, I got wrong myself. I'm Alex, and I do down-to-earth tech videos. And secretly, apparently, I also do a little bit of Hollywood. I wish. Quick version if you're in a hurry. This is $18.99 here in the UK, $2,099 in the US. And if you do actual work on your phone, 2 or more apps at once, documents, spreadsheets, watching some stuff on the side, this is the foldable for you, and it's not even closed compared to the Fold 8. It's also got a telephoto, which Fold 8 doesn't, and it kept flex mode, which the Fold 8 lost. If your phone is mostly for content consumption, though, I'd say save the $200 and get the Fold 8, or the £200 and get the Fold 8, because yes, the screen here is bigger, but it's also the wrong shape for watching videos. So, and I've measured everything for you.
Let's have it.
And
Let's
I'll
have it.
show you exactly
Let's
what
have
it's
it.
going to cost you.
Let's
If you want
have
the
it.
S
Oh,
Pen,
let's
it's
have
gone
it.
here too. Right, the usual test for productivity, right? Running Excel on one side, a live PDF on the other, reading numbers off one, typing them into the other. And this is not just about the ability to do it, it's whether or not it's actually useful. Because there's one thing about, you getting out of jail and being able to edit 1 or 2 cells, and there's a whole other thing being able to actually work on this. Yes, it works, and that's the headline, right? Since the Fold, let's say Fold 4, we've been able to do in some way, shape, or form do this, but it was only since the Fold 7 really that we've been able to do this in a nice way, because the software sort of caught up with the hardware. So from a productivity perspective, you're not losing, but you're also not gaining much here. The keyboard is still taking, that much screen real estate. It hasn't changed. And I want to be honest about that, because a lot of reviews skip it, and my previous reviews sometimes don't show the keyboard being used at the same time as the app. So yes, it's cool to have 2, sometimes 3 or 4 apps open, but can you actually work on them, right? But on this panel, in comparison to the Fold 8, there's enough left that both apps are still able to do their job, and the keyboard as well. But as I said in my Fold 8 review, this device, I think, is targeted at a different audience. So that's 2, 3 apps running properly here, which is great. But that isn't the thing that changed how I use the Fold. There's a very easy setup here that will make your life a lot easier, that took me ages to find, even from previous Folds, and is coming up straight after this. Now, the thing that's held this week together has nothing to do with this phone, actually. This is the Nori AI Family Hub, and it lives in our kitchen now. It's the thing that holds everyone's week in one place. Ours sits on the worktop, where we actually walk past it every day. And if something comes up, we just say out loud and it goes in.
Hey Nori, add depart for the beach at 11 a.m. with ham sandwiches and Coke and water for the dog.
Adding beach departure. Beach departure is set for today at 11 o'clock a.m. with the whole family and Chalky. Bring ham sandwiches, Coke, and water for the dog.
No need to involve any smartphones, and that's the main thing for me. That's a big one at home. It's not just me not needing to open a phone in the house, but it's also the fact that it remembers everything that I forget, right? Who eats what, who won't touch what, and what someone's allergic to. So when it helps us put a week of meals together, it isn't suggesting something that half the table is going to push around the plate, right? And the same goes for keeping everyone on track. Every time we walk past Nora's dashboard, with just one glance, we can immediately see who owns what tasks that need to be completed. We can even bring things into Nori from our phones. For example, we can import a recipe from Pinterest, and Nori will turn that into a clear meal plan, and it will actually build a shopping list off the back of that, which has saved me a trip to the supermarket more than once. And when no one's using it, it goes back to being a picture frame very nicely, becomes part of your decoration. It just cycles through your photos, and you can swap the frame itself to suit your room. So it looks like it belongs there rather than a bit of kit that just bolted to the wall. The more your family uses it, the more Nori remembers, and that's the thing that makes it even better. The links are in the description if you want a proper look and to check pricing. And if you're watching this from a TV, just scan the QR code here. And thanks so much, Nori, for sponsoring this in a better way. And almost nobody talks about this one, and it's buried 3 menus deep if you're going to look for it. And there's not many videos online about this either. But it's such an easy thing. You can save an app pair. So things like Excel and PDF, YouTube and Maps, banking and WhatsApp, I can't believe how useful that is, laid out exactly how I want them, split how I want them as well, and you save that as a pair into your favorites, drop into the side panel, or on the home screen itself. Now is one swipe, one tap, and both apps open exactly like that every single time.
Bro, that is great. You see that particular site, whatever Samsung, what's it called, is already doing it. What's the name? The Motorola I spoke to you about is already doing it. Currently, my Motorola device has this that you can see here on the side here. So it does the whole sidebar thingy, right? You can just move from where I am right now to another device. It's already doing that. So, but this is crazy. Having dual screen and you are able to get the sidebar to switch whichever screen and then it gets to be on the side. That is insane. That is sick.
It's a lifesaver. It's a simple thing, but really transforms how you use the phone. Because if things are not at one click or one tap, you kind of tend not to use it. And you end up using this just as a regular slab phone, which kind of, what's the point, right? And if you are coming from an S25, S26 Ultra, or an iPhone or whatever, this may take a while to get used to, but I honestly think it's underrated because it kind of forces you to really make the most of the device when it's fully open. Just watch the friction that this removes. Without it, you have to unfold, find the first app, open it, then go and find the second app as well, open it, resize. It's about 7 or 8 steps, and if you reboot your phone, that pair is gone, right? And you have to kind of do the whole thing again. With a saved pair, it's a swipe, a tap, and it just works. Other foldables can do this as well, and some of them are quite elegant in how they do it. And if you really want to take it to a next level, by the way, into a keyboard, a mouse, a monitor, and all of a sudden you have this mini workstation with something dots. And that's the difference I'm finding really between a phone that can multitask and one that you actually multitask on. Before you buy this though, I would say ask yourself honestly, and if you're coming from a Fold 7, it already does all of that. So there's not much that you're gonna get here apart from that amazing battery and of course the display here. Personally, I do a lot of work on my phone, but I'm not gonna oversell it to you.
Can I talk about the display? Please allow me to talk about this display. Sis,
Somebody say Melin.
Melin. Yo, let me talk about the display. Yo, the display is 110 all over. 110. Damn. What?
It doesn't replace my laptop. It doesn't replace even my tablet. It does remove friction if I'm on a train, if I'm kind of just working at night and I don't want to pull out my laptop. This is awesome to do a bit of work on it quickly and then kind of enjoy the rest of it. Since the Fold 7 design, I think Samsung really nailed the design now. 4.1 millimeters now unfolded, down from 4.2, which in the hand is not much really, but it feels incredible. And look, I do like the Magic V6 design, this nice texture that they've got here at the back. But more about that in my next video when I do compare them both. You might be asking though, why is he telling us about the design now? Everyone already knows. It's because there's something that changed in the way we use the Fold since the Fold 7, to be fair. And you're not going to find it on the spec sheet. You're going to find it in experience in using it. Fold 4, 5, 6, I was always so scared of taking it outside, putting it in pockets or putting it in bags. Basically, I'm not careful with this phone anymore, and I don't have to be. I baby the Fold 4, 5, and 6. 2 hands to open it, winks every time I hit a table or something like that. But with the Fold 7, that fear is mostly gone. You can see by my case scratches here that this goes everywhere with me now. And with the Fold 8 Ultra, that fear of damaging it's gone completely. Back pocket, no problem, open one-handed with a flick. I know it feels weird doing this, but that hinge feels so strong and so solid that you feel.
This is it. Come on. This is it. I don't know what else you want from me. Do you want my blood? Do you want my blood?
I don't want peace.
I want
problems always.
Yo, this is good, bro. I love
feel is durable. Part of that is the shape. Part of it is the flex titanium under the screen, giving you that very solid feel. Samsung reckons it's 20 times stiffer than the plastic that it replaced under the screen here. Whatever the reason, the fear is gone. It just feels more durable, and that's the thing you care about. Although I gotta say, I'd be slightly disingenuous if I didn't mention that the Magic V6, and probably others as well, they take durability to another level, right? That's just a fact. I'm about to go on a family holiday on the beach. Will I take the Ultra to the beach? No. And that's not me being precious. There's a reason, right? IP48. The number 4 in IP48 is for the dust rating, and 4 is effectively not much. It will survive a downpour in terms of water, but it's not rated for sand. Clearly, across the industry, people shown that it can be done, and Samsung just haven't, right? But also know that Samsung is a little bit stricter as well, and perhaps a bit more conservative when it comes to their claims. But conservative or not, officially is IP48. My recommendation, buy the Samsung Care, pay that extra bit more because, yeah, if you do damage it, at least you're covered. And you can also put something on it, right? What I'm actually doing, and it's probably not what you'd expect me to recommend, is I'm going to lean towards having a skin rather than a case. And I did that with previous folds as well. Just enjoyed it. I'm going to use deep brand skins. That's my favorite, and I've used that with previous folds as well. It won't save it from a massive drop. They do cases as well. But what it does do is stop the back getting scratched. And it keeps the design, right? Nice and light, very thin to hold as well. Now let's talk about the display a little bit because it's probably one of the things that a lot of you are probably pondering about, is this display better than this one? And one of you in my previous video threw some maths at me and I had to go and check it. And yeah, the maths were way off. Someone said in my previous video that paying 200 more for this screen wasn't worth it because a lot of it was just black bars. So I went and measured it. It was a great question. I knew that 70% of black bars was a bit crazy, so I worked it out. Let's take a look. Here's the same video on both phones. Standard 16:9, the Fold 8 loses 25.5 of its panel. The Ultra loses 37.6. So you are losing more by having this for video. So he was out by a lot, right? By half. But stay with me because he's onto something here. What matters, of course, is what you're left with in terms of the picture. And that measures 6.96 inches diagonally on the Fold 8. On the Ultra, it measures 6.82. The cheaper phone here is giving you the bigger picture, about 2%, which is nothing. You never see it. And the Ultra is about 5% sharper. Also nothing, close to nothing anyway, but technically a better image. For this sort of content, 16:9 video, and I did not expect this, these two are pretty much the same. There is one thing though that commenter missed, and so did I.
I'm begging you, stop saying, I'm fine, thank you.
I'm fine.
4x3. Photos, ebooks, half of YouTube's back catalog basically. The Fold 8 loses 0.6% of the screen, which is nothing. Edge to edge, which is great. The Ultra loses 16.8%. So yeah, I love these comments though, so keep them coming because I think they make the next videos even better if it gets me to do some research and actually get information that might be helpful in your decision making. Now, I nearly ended there telling you that $200 or £200 doesn't buy you more screen. That would have been a lie, built on a true number, but a lie nonetheless. So let me finish this properly. Everything I just measured is video, right? Video comes in a fixed shape, so a squarer panel wastes more of it. Fine. But since when was your phone just used for video? The second you're not in a fixed aspect ratio for videos, the bars vanish, right? And you're just using the panel completely. And this panel is 14.6% larger in area with 25% more pixels. So well-designed web pages, documents, your gallery, games. Oh my gosh, games on this is amazing. Two apps side by side. All of it fills the whole screen. And there's meaningfully more whole screen here. Plus you've got that 6.5-inch cover screen as well against a 5.5 display. So the more accurate version of my statement would be the extra 200 does buy you more screen, more pixels. What it doesn't buy you is bigger videos. It's been great using the camera on the Fold 8 Ultra. We went to see a circus show in the evening called Come Alive. It's based on the Greatest Showman movie. Fantastic. That's where both folds really surprised me. But the Ultra really delivered here from a camera perspective. Low light, performance moving fast, colored stage, which makes any camera panic and struggle, let alone a foldable phone. And the Fold 8 Ultra just absolutely smashed this. I mean, this slow-mo shot here, which is incredibly sharp, considering it's 4K 120 FPS, flames that look like flames rather than just an orange blur on the screen, and skin tones as well that look like a normal person under the red light. This isn't just good for a foldable sort of thing. This is bloody decent for any camera. I remember having to spend a few thousand, only 5-6 years ago, to get a camera, a proper DSLR camera that did anything like this in 120 FPS. We have that in our pockets now. Yes, that's crazy. Now, back down to earth a little bit because the telephoto isn't much to shout about. 10 megapixels, f2.4, and only 3x, right? Sat next to a 200 megapixel f1.7 main camera. That gap is huge. And I believe it's the same 10 megapixel unit that Samsung's been using for, 4 or 5 years. I'm glad it's there because the Fold 8 has nothing, no telephoto, and cropping isn't the same thing. I've got the Honor Magic V6, like I keep saying, so I'm not calling it yet, but a full head-to-head is coming very soon. I'll be using both on the same day, same light conditions. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. From a performance perspective, rather than just...
Bro, this is it. This is the first amongst the three. I'm going to get the second one now, then we'll get the third one. So the second one is the Galaxy Z Flip 8. That's the second one that's been released by Samsung. Bro, Motorola, please, you people should leave me alone. You should leave me alone. Why are you people dragging me? Yes, this is it. Let's look at the
For
unboxing.
just $67, you can generate as many videos as you want and never have to worry about showing. Hey guys, how's it going? In this video, we're going to be doing an unboxing, and I'm going to give my first impressions on the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 8. This phone is available at the time of this video. I'll have links to it in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. The retail price, $1,200. Comes in 4 different colors. This cream, pink, graphite that we're going to be checking out here today, and a Samsung.com exclusive mint color. There are 2 options to choose from. There's a base model with 256 gigs of storage, 12 gigabytes of RAM, and a max spec of 512 gigabyte storage, 12 gigabytes of RAM. Let's go ahead, see what we get with the Graphite Flip 8.
Oh gosh.
On top, we have our device. Also have a pamphlet in here. Which in here we have a SIM ejection tool.
Bro,
and
did you
some
see
usual
that?
suspects, a little bit of paper.
Bro, I need to take this back. Did you? Ooh. Bro, this. Oh my god.
Device. Also have a pamphlet in here. Which in here we have a SIM ejection tool and some usual suspects, a little bit of paperwork, and a USB Type-C to Type-C charging cable. Let's go ahead and check out the star of the show here, the Galaxy Z Flip 8.
Yo. Pew.
Go ahead, fold this flip for the first time. First impressions of the graphite color, really liking this color over all the other options. I would say this is the exact same.
I'm having goosebumps, bro. Yay. Yes. Yo, I'm having goosebumps all over because what?
Graphite color found on the Fold 8. Taking a physical tour, on the right, we have our power button with the fingerprint sensor built in, a mic, and our volume rockers. We have our dual lens setup here on the front. On the left, we have our SIM tray. And as expected, we have room for just 1 physical SIM card, no micro SD expansion here. And on the top and bottom, we have some mics. We have our other speaker, have a dual speaker setup on this phone, and the Type-C port capable still of just Samsung's 25-watt super fast charging. This Flip 8 is also a bit slimmer this year. It's down to 6.1 millimeters of thickness when opened up compared to Flip 7's 6.5 millimeters. And this keeps the same battery capacity as that Flip 7 still at 4,300 milliamp hours. Not sure why this says it's June 24th. It is August 5th today. Greatly sized 6.9-inch inner display. I've been really enjoying the larger screen that first came to last year's Flip 7 and now on this Flip 8, in addition to an excellent outer display.
Chat, I am so confused right now. I am so confused between Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra and Galaxy Z Flip 8. Which are you getting? Which are you getting? And which do you think is just too sleek? Which do you think is just too sleek for Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra? I personally think that the visual, the graphics is just at another level. It's just peak. The peak. Oh my god. And then there is the Galaxy Z Flip 8. The Galaxy Z Flip 8 is, the look alone is already turning me on. I'm so sorry I'm using the word, but damn. Woo. Too good, too sleek.
We have a 4.1-inch outer screen here that is actually usable. Compared to some of the previous gen flips that had about a 3.4-inch screen, it was much less usable. I also noticed a slight weight difference, a little bit lighter. Every gram does feel a little bit lighter on these foldables, especially 183 grams. Feel in the hand is a little bit different because this year we have some beveled edges on this, and it makes it significantly easier to open and close this flip. I think that's going to go a really long way. So initially, I'm loving the look, loving the feel, a little bit easier to open this one up, and that little bit of lighter weight does feel nice. But it's been a full day now since I first started using this Flip 8. I'm definitely ready to share some of my first impressions with you guys. So starting with getting into the phone, the fingerprint sensor on the side, super easy to to unlock this on the outer display and that inner display as well. There's also face recognition for this on both the inner and outer screens, but I've been getting by fine with the fingerprint sensor. And once you're in, you'll be greeted by the 4.1 inch or the 6.9 inch inner display. Now, taking a minute to talk about this inner screen, since we do have a very different screen here over the other folds that have come out. Something I've definitely appreciated with this Flip 8 initially is that it's a much more comfortable feel in the hand. It's a totally rounded out phone compared to these folds that have more squared off edges. This is definitely the best feeling foldable that Samsung has, even though you're getting a lot less screen real estate. But this is the most enjoyable foldable to just carry around with you every day. Fits in the palm of your hand great. I found that the Fold 8 Wide is a little bit wide to have as much confidence holding it and carrying it around. And even though this is a lot smaller than those other first day processor in this, so it's really smooth. There's a nice, as far as your long foldable enough display to watch some landscape content. And as someone who has used all the past gen flips, I would say that
Nah, bro, I'm telling you, the Ultra, that's the Fold 8 Ultra, gives me the view for the graphics. For me, that's it. The Flip 8 gives me the sleekness and the portability of having the device. I think that's just it. Then there is the last one, right? The question still remains: which are you getting? Are you getting Galaxy Z Flip 8, Fold 8 Ultra, or you're getting Galaxy Flip 8 Ultra? Sorry, Galaxy Flip 8. I need to know, which are you getting in the comment section. Then we have the last release that they made, which is Watch Ultra 2. Yep. I think that this has
What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with Tech Daily. So at Galaxy Unpacked today, in addition to all the new folds and flips that Samsung showed off, they also announced the newest iteration of Galaxy watches. And the lineup this year looks a little different than in previous years. We got two new watches this time: the Galaxy Watch 9 and the Galaxy Watch Ultra 2. There is, tragically, no new classic model this year. Samsung says they're probably pivoting to an every other year upgrade for that one, but there's actually a lot to talk about with these two new watches, so let's get into it. First, let's knock out the basics. The Galaxy Watch 9 comes in two sizes again: 40mm and a 44mm. For colors, the 44mm comes in graphite and silver, and the 40mm comes in graphite and cream. The new Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 still comes in just one size, a much larger 47mm, and two colors: titanium silver and titanium gray. The Watch 9 starts at $379 and ranges up to $459 depending on the size you pick and whether you go with the Bluetooth-only model or add LTE. The Ultra 2 starts at $699 now, a $50 increase, and that one includes both Bluetooth and LTE. And as far as when you can actually get your hands on these, pre-orders are live on July 22nd, and they officially go on sale on August 7th. Now, before I get into the specs and hardware upgrades, I want to just quickly say that the bulk of the changes with both of these new Galaxy watches comes via Samsung's health monitoring software in the app. The big theme was a shift from reactive to preventative health tools, meaning instead of a watch that just passively tracks what already happened, they want this thing to act more like an intelligent health companion that actually helps you figure out what to do next, depending on your health goals, your fitness ability, your health, or anything else you're working on. So Samsung is pitching the Watch 9 as, in their words, the easiest way to manage your health. And it's the more accessible, more mainstream of the two watches this year. If you're a regular person who wants a really good smartwatch that also happens to have a ton of health features, this is still the one to get. Design-wise, it's nearly identical to last year, with that round display sitting inside a slightly squared-off frame. It looks familiar, but Samsung says it's been fundamentally improved. It's a sleek, lightweight aluminum build, and they're claiming it's about 25% lighter than before. more. They also redesigned the bands with what they're calling an air pocket structure running along the strap, which is basically meant to give sweat and water somewhere to go and make the whole thing more comfortable to wear all day and all night. And honestly, comfort is one of those things that sounds boring, but it matters a lot when you're wearing this to bed every single night, for sleep tracking, or during a long, intense workout or run. The 44mm has a 1.47-inch display, and the 40mm gets a 1.34-inch display, and both of them reach up to 3000 nits of peak brightness. Inside, these new watches are powered by Qualcomm's Snapdragon Wear Elite processor, which is actually the exact same processor you get in the much pricier all-new Watch Ultra 2. Which is great to see on these more affordable watches. The batteries are also a bit bigger. Samsung bumped the capacity up by around 20%, so you're looking at 445 mAh in the 44mm and 390 mAh in the 40mm. In terms of real-world battery life, Samsung is quoting up to 30 hours with the always-on display turned on, and you can stretch that quite a bit further, up to 60 or 80 hours, if you turn off the always-on display or utilize standby. You also get 32GB of storage, 2GB of RAM, and they're running Wear OS 7 with Samsung's One UI 9 watch software on top. That's essentially the Watch 9 in a nutshell, as far as the physical differences and hardware improvements. No major changes necessarily, but some solid internal improvements for sure. There's the new chip, the bigger battery, and the expanded preventative health features, which I will talk about in just a second after I go over what's new with the Watch Ultra 2. Now, Samsung is calling this the best of the best Galaxy Watch, and obviously that makes sense since this is still the ultimate Samsung wearable. At a glance, this also doesn't really look that different from last year, but again, it's somehow even thinner. It comes in at 10.7mm, which Samsung says is about 12% thinner than before. And that's actually kind of a nice improvement because these Ultra watches are pretty chunky. The new bands got the same air pocket treatment as the Watch 9 and are about 25% lighter, and Samsung also talked about using computational design to fine-tune the comfort and stability of the fit, which is the same kind of approach they used to improve the earbuds, which you guys might remember. So in theory, these watches should be more comfortable, lighter, thinner, and fit more securely on everyone's wrists, no matter what physical activities you're doing. The standout upgrade for the new Watch Ultra 2, I think, is the upgraded display. Samsung is calling it the brightest ever smartwatch display with 5000 nits of peak brightness. That's brighter than the new Watch 9, and I think it is one of the brightest screens on any smartwatch right now in general. It's a 1.52-inch display at a 498 by 498 resolution, so it's also a tiny bit larger than before. And what this all adds up to is a much more visible display in harsh lighting, especially outdoors and in direct sunlight. On the performance side, the Ultra 2 runs the same Snapdragon Wear Elite chip I mentioned earlier, but Samsung quoted some specific gains here. A 32% jump in CPU performance and a 19% jump in GPU performance, along with faster app launching and response times. So it should just feel quicker and smoother across the board. Battery is another big story on this one. This watch is now packing an 800 mAh battery, which Samsung says is about 35% larger than the previous generation. And it's rated for up to 60 hours with the always-on display turned on. So this watch could be used for potentially a couple of days more reliably without needing a charge, which frankly is great to see. Rounding out the specs, you've got 64GB of storage, 2GB of RAM, the same Wear OS 7 and One UI 9 watch software as its little brother. Now, I actually think this new Watch Ultra 2 is a more substantial upgrade and definitely something to consider over the previous Gen Ultra. The much brighter display is great, the bigger battery is great, the faster chip. Those kinds of upgrades are things you'd actually notice in day-to-day use. The Watch Ultra 2 is also IP69K rated, and new this year is a partnership with the Mares diving app, along with 10 ATM water resistance. So this new watch can give you real-time dive tracking, including your depth, elapsed time, water temperature, with those diving features and more being exclusive to this watch for the next 2 years. Again, beyond the hardware changes and spec bumps, the bulk of the improvements for both of these new watches actually comes via Samsung's software. And I'll say up front that a lot of what you see here, even though it's just software via Samsung Health, is still going to be exclusive to just these new watches. Samsung didn't say when or even if these new features will be added to the previous gen watches, which is kind of a bummer, but I'd be willing to bet sometime soon that some of these will grace your year-old smartwatch at some point. I hope so, at least. The star of the show is what Samsung is calling Vitals. And this is essentially an intelligent early warning system. It keeps an eye on things like your heart rate, your skin temperature, your respiratory rate, your blood oxygen, your heart rate variability, and it builds a personal baseline for you. And then if it notices a significant deviation from that baseline, it can proactively alert you. So the idea is your watch might notice something is off before you consciously do, which fits perfectly with that reactive to preventative theme. There's also a new heart health score, which factors in your sleep time, your activity, your BMI, and even an estimated blood pressure reading to give you an overall number for your heart health. On top of
Bro, bro, I love Samsung ecosystem. I'll keep saying it over and over again. Well, chat, this is just it for me on this stream. Like I said, um, I think they also have one more, which is the Samsung Smart Eyewear, right? You could check that out. I'm tired, guys. Like, I need to sleep right now. So I'm going to be ending the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being a part of the stream. It was a great one today. And yeah, we'll do next stream soon, coming up soon. All right. So, depending when that would be, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for choosing Teckaton. Peace. And I'm signing out.